So this is, I can't believe it's June. It's June 2nd, and it is 16:21. It's just so I can edit it better. Ashley and Amy.
50-40, requesting assistance. We have a possible 211 in progress at the Bank of America. Bank of America, located in north of Kittredge. We have shots fired.
All units, officer needs help. At the Bank of America, located north of Kittredge, officer needs help. Bank of America, 911 emergency.
I'm at a drive-thru right now. I ordered my food 3 times. I asked 4 different times to wait.
You know what the problem is? I got a man in the pool. He's got his driver stuck in the pump line. What? You're kidding me. I'm telling you, honest to God, something really got to say to me.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 911-ish. Thank you for joining us again. Once again today, I am joined by Jason Bradford. Say hi, Jason.
Hello, everybody.
And then we have 2 special guests with us today. We have the sisters. We're going to call them Group Sisters number 1 because we have another group of sisters that's going to come on another date. Ashley. Say hi, Ashley.
Hello.
And Amy. Say hi, Amy.
Hey, guys.
Hello. Thank you for being here, guys. We appreciate it. And we just want to, before we get started, shout out again to Chris Germain and CrossFit 310 for letting us record in their studios. Or their gym that I'm calling a studio. It's really just an office that's about 85 to 90 degrees in here. But, it works. It's cool. Works. I like it. So there's a Christmas tree behind us in the middle of June. So that's always a plus. So, all right. So today we want to talk about how you guys got into public safety in general. And Ashley, why don't we start with you? How'd you get into public safety?
That's a good question. I guess my sister and one of the sergeants at their department encouraged me to apply. At the time, I had been with my previous career for 11 years, so I was getting a little bored with it and decided to apply to different agencies and ended up where I am now. So.
And this is the first job you've ever had in public safety, right?
Yes and no. I used to be loss prevention, so I was very familiar with aspects of it, and our entire family has been in law enforcement, so I was familiar with public safety in general, but yeah. Okay.
Amy, how about you?
Kind of similar. I knew at a young age this was the career that I wanted to get into. Our grandfather was a sergeant in a Northern California agency, so Ashley and I used to watch those like Mary Kate and Ashley spy TV shows.
Oh yeah, we used to be super detectives when we were little.
We were really cute.
We would spy on our neighbors.
So they had a great grasp of what they were getting into.
Sure did.
Yeah.
We used to have little notebooks and we would spy on our neighbors, like 3:52 p.m. Looks like he's making dinner.
It sounds way cooler when you're little, but
there's those neighborhood kids looking through the window.
Right. God.
I think we, at least for me, I knew at a younger age that this was the field that I wanted to go into. So kind of started that way with school and got my master's during COVID. So it's been
Congratulations. That's awesome.
2 years now. Seems like yesterday. But I still somehow torture myself, and I'm still in school working on crime analyst stuff just to have in my back pocket. So
are you going for a PhD?
I don't think so. But if I do, you're going to call me doctor.
Fucking A. But yeah, if you spend that much money and time and...
She hesitated not. You will call me doctor.
Yeah. I would like to go for mine, but I decided I've racked up enough student loan debt for my life. So
how many years have you been with your current agency?
I've been there 8 years in April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same one? Have you ever worked anywhere else?
Same one.
Wow. Mm-hmm. It's a long time, isn't it? Even though it doesn't feel like it.
It does and it doesn't. Like some days you're like, wow, it's been 8 years. Yeah. And then you look back and it's just like, it flies by. It's exactly.
Yeah. Have you had the same
different.
Position the whole time, or what jobs have you held there?
No. So I've done a few different positions. The first title is police assistant. So it's more clerical work, working directly with detectives, making filing packages for suspects that are going to go to court. Matron duty, so lots of fun jail stories. I'm
Got a little strip search.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get into that later. We're gonna get into that later.
When she first started, she would come home. Okay, I have to practice strip searching. Can I practice on you? I'm like, I guess.
Practice like taking
You're
cuts.
the weirdest family.
That's not a
ever.
conversation
On
that
and
happens
off.
in a lot of households.
I mean, for a long time, like if there's not a training open, who are you going to practice on? Like you have to have someone. They tell you like go home and
Wait,
practice searching.
Let's back that up one sec. Did you say you practice on trainees?
No, like my husband.
Oh,
my
gotcha.
sister.
Could you imagine being a new recruit?
Yeah, like,
Hey, I gotta practice on you, buddy.
The husband, I can be like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe. But the sister, I'm like,
No, because when we first started, I mean, like you had to have the matron duty training or whatever within the first year of being hired, but there's not always an immediate training.
Yeah.
So
Right.
they tell you like go home, tell your family to hide things in their pockets or their shoes or
Up
somewhere
their butt.
discreet. Yeah, maybe. I mean, if you're
Tell your loved ones, bend over and spread them.
exactly,
here,
yeah,
keister this for me. I'm going to strip you.
exactly. It's fun times.
This took a really weird turn, really, really
But
fast.
we got really good at it. Okay, so
Hey. Do they
Now she can find anything.
Handing your loved one a balloon.
anywhere.
Yeah. So, like, when you searched your husband, they weren't like strip searches, right?
No,
Okay, because you can't strip search a man, can you?
no, I can't. It's
Yeah.
females. So females only searched females.
And then males only search males.
Correct.
Okay.
So there was never a chance I had to search a male. Thank God. I don't.
Yeah.
want
What
to
if
search you
they
guys.
are transgender?
It's
now?
different now. We did have that happen one time, and we just had to ask like, "What do you prefer, a male or female?" And
Yeah. And then they'll tell you.
Wouldn't
Yeah,
it be
and they
whatever the
just tell
package
you.
is down below?
you would think
That makes sense that you would
but-
do whatever they're comfortable with.
Yeah, but
Do
it
they
was
have
what
to
they were
sign
comfortable
Whatever
here
they're
that
comfortable with.
they're comfortable with this one?
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
We have to make them comfortable.
2022, which is fine. No big deal.
Then I'll bypass the strip search.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. Okay. So, other than that, what do you do for your agency now? You were talking about crime statistics. So
Oh yeah. So
crime analyst.
So I, at one point, did crime prevention, which was really cool. That was more focused on finding the patterns, trying to basically get ahead of the criminals and ways to
You're a profiler.
ways to deter crime, that sort of thing. But that also entailed a lot of other things. So that included tons of social media. I made, tons of videos, everything you
Which
saw.
we suck at.
Yeah, it's a guy thing.
At least I suck at it. I'm
Haven't
terrible at
attempted.
social media.
I think I've done more social media trainings than definitely anyone in my agency, but it's
Yeah.
also helped with Pink Patch 100%. So there was a lot to do in that position. I loved it, but it got to the point where you're working like 60 hours a week and not sleeping.
And getting paid for 40.
Yeah.
So what do you do now?
Back to police assistant.
All right, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
I love it. It's a great job. I love the girls I work with.
Yeah.
Is that out of the chief's office or which bureau are you a part of?
Records.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you, Ashley? You're a dispatcher, right?
Yes.
As we all know, because you work with us.
How lucky you are.
Yeah.
I don't have a fancy title or anything.
Yes, you do.
So
Do you even know what your official title is?
not really.
It's communications operator.
Yes. I struggle with that on my resume.
Why? Because you can't spell?
No.
Don't you have a master's degree?
I do.
It
yeah.
doesn't fit in the little box.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
so,
what she said.
I just make it easy. Dispatcher.
It doesn't sound as fancy.
Yeah.
Especially if
Sometimes
you're
I
trying
put-
to get a job somewhere else that's like
exactly.
fancy.
Sometimes I put 911 before it.
Ooh.
That sounds more fancy, right?
She has gotten, hey, what's your phone number?
911. I like the,
You just called it.
I'm going to reveal my age
actually.
here. A couple of you might not know this reference, but I always reference the Little Rascals movie when I say, quick, what's the number for 911?
No, I didn't know that.
Nobody gets that fucking movie.
No, I don't
Man.
get it.
You guys need to watch the Little
I
Rascals.
actually,
I
that
have
is
seen
one
that.
movie I
Same.
have seen.
Same.
That's very surprising.
The
because-
problem
Is there
is-
multiple versions?
Yeah, but the latest one was latest. It was probably like 20 years ago now.
I just feel like men have this special gift of remembering every line ever
In a movie?
said in every
Oh,
movie
yeah.
ever, and
It's true.
the
Ew.
entire night at work
Alan,
is basically
eat
just
yourself a
movie
pizza?
lines, and I never know what anyone's talking about. So
Is that why you're just kind of the loner in the corner?
Yeah, I think so. I just
okay.
answer calls in the back and keep to myself. Oh, look, the phone's ringing. Guess I can't be in this conversation.
We literally on day shift just quote The Hangover and Anchorman most of the day.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Both of them.
In the office,
In the
yeah.
office.
In the office. We'll drop a few of them in here and just kind of like subtly chuckle at them while you two look at us like, what the fuck are they talking
Yeah,
about?
you're literally talking to two people that don't watch movies or TV.
I cannot commit that much time
To anything.
Yeah, basically. It's really hard. But I have no problem sitting
Good to know
watching.
for Ashley, 90 minutes is long term.
Yeah.
I can sit and watch a season of a show, no problem. But you tell me to sit down and watch a movie, it's not happening.
So you're okay for like 14 hours, but not 2 hours.
It's very bizarre. I'll be up until 3 a.m. watching like Peaky Blinders, and she'll be getting up for work. You're still watching this? Yeah, it's good.
Or 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's popular.
That's
on Graveyard.
very, very popular. On TLC in general is popular on Graveyard.
Yeah, but we have to read the subtitles sometimes, so it's hard to keep up when you're working.
Being a crime analyst, I guess I'll go further back. How did you find the agency you work for? How'd you pick it?
For me, it was so random. My husband worked in the South Bay. I have never heard of the city that I worked for. And my husband was like, well, if you work out here, we can carpool. And I was like, that sounds like a great idea because I want to spend 2 hours on the 405 freeway every day.
Is your husband in law enforcement?
He is. He's a federal officer. So he's normally like out of the ports or at LAX.
Oh, he's not on Wilshire?
No, not in Washer.
He has my dream job. He gets to play with animals all day.
He's like a cop, but for animals. It's
He
probably
saves
a better
the
way.
animals.
Smuggling.
Even though people, whenever he's in uniform, yell at him that he's trash, and he's like, "I save the animals, idiot!" Like,
it's the badge. They see a badge
And they hate it.
an officer on a shirt, and
Yeah.
you get lumped into that. But
I'm one of the good ones.
So I've always thought one of the coolest law enforcement jobs that I've always wished that I could do is the National Park Service Police, the
Ooh, that'd
sworn
be
National Park
cool.
Service Police.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be one of the
tons of fun.
coolest jobs.
Yes, I agree.
I could see you doing that.
Yeah, when I was in I was on a motorcycle trip in South Dakota, and we were at Mount Rushmore. That's in South Dakota, right? The heads.
Sarah, why are you looking at me?
That's
The
South
heads.
Dakota.
I'm just making sure it's the right place. You
That's
know,
the one.
it's got the heads in the mountain. It's
That's
Mount
the
Rushmore.
one.
That's it. Yeah.
Those would be the presidents.
South Dakota?
Yeah,
South Dakota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were there watching the fireworks show and the whole thing, and there was a sworn National Park Service guy there, and I just started talking to him, and it seemed like the coolest job ever. He's like,
What
yeah,
did they do? Yeah.
he's a police officer, but for the National Park Service. So anytime any law is broken in the
So they
inside the
handle
national park,
anything in the national
yeah.
parks.
So anytime the rangers call for help, or anytime the rangers have a crime they report in, they respond to. They have full police powers anywhere in the state and in the nation, and they're federal police officers. So it just seemed like a cool job. Yeah.
But I'm wondering, are they structured like a department, like
Yeah, how does
patrol,
that work?
detectives?
I have no
command
idea.
staff?
I didn't get that
You
deep
didn't
into
get that
it.
far?
No.
We're going to need
So-
you to research this and get back to us.
Okay, I'll Google it.
We might
let you
all
know.
be relocating to the parks.
So there you go. It just seemed like one of the coolest
He's
jobs.
like, I am the all of the above.
Yeah. So
I take the crime report. I invest the crime report.
I take the
he's like
initial
Judge
call.
Dredd. Anybody get that movie reference? No,
Nope.
of course not.
Nope, sure don't.
The best one was the old one with Sly.
I was going to say Stallone.
Yeah, the new one sucked.
Didn't see
It's a movie reference.
Got it.
Yeah. So
Sounds good.
right. How did you find your agency, Ashley?
Through my sister, basically.
Wow.
I,
That was a great story. That was so exciting.
yeah.
She just gave you a piece of paper and said, "Go work here."
Well, I had applied to a lot of different agencies, and I was in backgrounds with a couple of them. And at the time, I was finishing my master's degree, so I had quit my job to finish that and had hoped that I would find a job in between quitting my job and finishing my master's. So it was basically a race of who could hire me the fastest because my funds were running out.
What's your master's in?
Forensic psychology.
She's like really
Do you use
smart.
it with your current job?
No, not at all.
She does. She just doesn't tell
I was
anybody.
going to say, yes, she
Yeah.
does.
She sits there and analyzes people she's talking to on the phone and just keeps it to herself.
When she answered, she looks at me, gives me the answer, but goes, do you think I'm telling the truth?
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody always says that about people with degrees in psychology. Oh, do you analyze everybody? And the truth is, really, you just go in it to analyze yourself. And then once you figure out that everybody's fucking crazy, you can live life a little bit better. It's just, where are you on the scale
Of crazy.
Crazy.
of crazy?
This reminds me of the hot crazy scale for women. Have you seen that YouTube video?
Oh, that's
Yes.
a good one. I've
Yes.
seen that.
It's so true.
Thank you to my
It is,
sergeant.
it honestly is quite true, just
It
in
is.
general for everybody. So,
Yeah. Well, how crazy are we?
well, you're dispatchers, so you're pretty high up there.
Yeah, that's
A
true.
valid
too.
point.
That's true too.
Can't argue it.
I think she just said you're the sane one, Amy.
Might be true.
You know?
I'm
No,
okay with that.
She's also crazy.
Oh, okay. Just because
We
she's a
are
female, or
bred from the same.
yeah.
That's true.
One and the same.
Now, is she crazy more female or more because of her career?
Ooh, you better choose the right answer.
Is there one?
Career.
Are you carpooling later? Is that why the answer was so quick?
No, actually, we drove separately. So
Nice. So, all right. So that was interesting. It's always weird to see how people end up choosing their agencies. Like I got referred by a friend through a former manager, and she would just like, yeah, come work here. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I had no idea what it was, right? I was like, oh, it's a dispatch center. Okay. So I go there, plug in, and then my buddy who referred me was friends with them and was just like, nope, if you want to be good, you got to ask Adrian to train you. And I had no idea. I was like, okay. So I went in there and was like, can Adrian train me? And famous last words. It was insane.
I feel like you really wouldn't find where we work unless you really do some research.
Like,
It's
unless
not
you
just
knew the area.
open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you talk to people who work at agencies that aren't associated with our dispatch center, they have no idea who we are.
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
I would definitely
Yeah.
agree with
And
that.
they have no idea when you tell somebody, oh, I work for Joint Powers Authority. They're like, I have no fucking clue what you're talking
What
about.
does that mean?
Yeah. And then you have to sit there and explain it. And at the end of the day, like, oh, what's the craziest call you've taken?
Oh yeah, that's always the first question.
Ashley-
And then my mind just goes blank because I
'Cause you're a woman?
don't remember anything ever.
Rude.
Am I not mistaken? Was your first day the Sunday?
It was one of my. I think I was a week in,
Yeah, I remember that
a
day.
couple weeks in. Yeah, and I just thought that was a normal
You were at least
fucking day. I'm like, oh,
early on
yeah.
with
I
your
was
trainer,
very early
right?
on. Yes.
Which Sunday are we talking
I
about?
had not even been released yet.
The one at the station that we talked about
giant
in the past?
shoot, Yeah.
Well, that was your first day on PD then, because I trained you on phones.
Yeah, but remember, you only trained me on phones for 3 weeks, and then they switched me to day shift to do day shift for 3 weeks.
Okay. I don't remember.
And so
No
it was
offense.
my first week. So it was.
Yeah,
it
'cause
would have
you
been
were
my
brand new to
fourth.
days.
It was my 4th week there, and it was my first week on day
With
shift.
us on days, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I still had was sitting with me, and that call came in. So I'm taking the call like normal, and I just thought it was just
Nobody's going to have any idea what you're talking about, so you need to explain it a little bit.
well. So
So the
it
phone
started
rang.
as a family
Ring, ring, ring.
domestic dispute, right? And a male female like arguing in the parking lot, and then all of a sudden the person who was calling it in actually worked for the hotel that they were at, and all of a sudden said, he has a gun, he's shooting. And it was what was he using, a rifle or
I have no idea. I wasn't there. Was it like a Mac 10 or some shit like that,
it
wasn't
was
it?
a
Yeah, it ended up being
Not a
everybody
handgun,
called it
we'll
an
say that.
AK-47, but I think it was a Mac 10 or something like
yeah,
that.
whatever
Yeah.
it was not a handgun.
Yeah.
So
Could you hear the shoots? Shoots.
yeah,
Did you
Hey, big
shoot?
shoot.
Hey, big shoots. Shooter McGavin here.
yeah.
Did you hear the shots fired on the phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Did you tell him that? Was that like? Did you
Yeah.
tell the dispatcher and like freak out?
No, I did. Well, my trainer was yelling across the room, and I'm still like typing,
I had the second RP and I could hear the shots.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Well, once my trainer started freaking out, I was like, should I be freaking out? Is this serious? I'm just thinking it's normal.
I remember.
People spraying a parking lot with bullets. Is this serious?
Yeah. Hey,
She has the craziest ability to stay calm at anything. Sometimes it makes me so mad because I will try and make her angry and it just doesn't work. I'm like, how do you stay so calm all the time?
it's because she doesn't give a fuck.
Maybe.
Yeah.
This is true, kind of.
Yeah.
There's Ashley. I don't know him.
Yeah. So
Oh, it's terrible.
I remember I had a trainer freak out on the radio one time. My first day of PD training.
Your trainer?
Yeah. My first day of PD training, we were sitting at. So this was.
Is that
Billion
person?
years
Yeah, it was a
ago.
long time. No, they're not.
Okay.
And we had a hit and run that had happened in the city or in one of the cities, and the motor officer went on the freeway to do an area check for the car and got TC2 on the freeway, laid his bike down,
Yep,
Yeah.
I
and was
remember.
crawling across lanes of traffic, asking for help. And my trainer was like, and Tony, who we had on episode 3, I think, was sitting next to us and sitting phones, and he had to actually make up the call because me and the trainer were like, "Ah!"
That's not the only
So-
time Tony's had to bail someone
Yeah,
out.
well, yeah.
He bailed me out on the one at the station
Yeah, on that
because
Sunday.
I was new and I didn't know the CAD system, so I was doing the notes by hand.
Yeah.
And Tony's like, "Do you want me to make an entry?" I'm like, "That's probably a good idea."
That's
Might
speaking
be a
of
slight delay in this.
speaking of doing notes by hand. That reminds me, we just got back from assisting another agency with a funeral, and so we were dispatching all night long at this other
Oh, yeah,
agency.
I saw that.
Yeah, and
Thanks for helping out, guys.
yeah,
You're the real MVP.
Say that again.
She does talk really quiet.
You're the real MVP.
No, I'm just shocked that she said something nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, I
Yeah.
can be nice.
There you go.
Verifying I heard that right.
She must be good.
I was like, why did you
She
guys
must be acting.
Why did you guys get quiet?
I'm just not used to hearing a woman say anything nice about me, so, you know.
That just happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, can you do that again so I can record it?
No.
Okay.
You
So
only get one.
we're in there trying to like figure out how to get this CAD system to work, and I kind of adapted pretty quickly to taking the calls, to entering calls for service. I did to entering calls for service.
I totally agree with you. Go to the beginning where you had our arrangement before we arrived.
So when we were told we were going to go over there or asked it, and we said yes, I was just like, oh, I'm going to dispatch for all 12 hours. I'm pulling seniority. You're just going to sit phones. And I told Jason that. And then we get there, and the lady was like, yeah, our CAD system is just archaic and old, and it's one screen, and this is how you create a call for service. And she's like, you just push NC for new call and hit send, and it pops up a screen, and you just fill it in. And I was like, oh, cool, I can do this. And then she started to explain the dispatching part and how you have to do like 17 different codes and tap through like 4 different screens. I was like, Jason, you can dispatch. I'm just going to sit phones for 12 hours.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Were
that
they busy?
sucks.
It was pretty busy.
Like,
I mean, for
give
for
you a
not
brief
knowing the
rundown?
systems,
Yeah.
yes.
Like, obviously, we were told, hey, look, keep it as minimal work as possible. You know, we're not taking anybody to jail.
Yeah.
Only priority 1 calls.
That didn't work.
Really?
We had 3 bookings.
I would imagine it's a very busy city. I actually applied there.
Oh, really?
I did, yeah.
Everybody there was super nice. Great hosts, made us feel really welcome. Did a great job. Like I said, just keep the work as minimal as possible. This guy, how
Listen,
many calls did you enter in the first 4
So
hours?
there's a pretense to this. I went and talked to the watch commander for the city before we got in there, before the visiting watch commander came in and said, we're not doing anything. So the watch commander for the city was just like, yeah, just do what you guys normally do. And if you have a report call, just tell them we'll take it on Monday.
Which what we normally do is make up every call,
Yeah.
no matter what.
Yeah. So I started making up
Loud.
like all of these calls.
Oh, you
just
just made
because I
Which
just
I'm
That's
still
what
trying.
we're
so
used
much
to.
work.
I just
Which I'm still trying to figure out how to look at.
Oh god.
Can't even bring him up on the screen.
yeah, I literally just clicked into like cruise control, right? And then I just started answering the phone and taking calls and putting them in and doing all this stuff. And then by the end of the day, like not the end of the day, like 2 hours in, the visiting watch commander was like, hey, called on the phone. He's like, hey, why are we going to these?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You
well,
guys need to dial it down a little bit.
yeah. And I'm like, well, can I just cancel people on the phone?
Can I tell people no?
Yeah.
You're working too hard.
Yeah. So he told me, he's like, yeah, just when they're on the phone, just tell them no, we're not going to go, and tell them to call back on Monday.
Because we're not allowed to do that.
Yeah,
normally.
because you know
We
we're
cannot
JPA, so we don't work for an
tell
agency, so we
anybody
can't tell
no.
them no. But he was just like, yeah, just tell them no, call back later. And I'm like,
I have
Okay.
the power.
yeah,
This is going to be
You
amazing.
just opened a
This is so
can
cool.
of worms over here.
I
sir.
know, back to social media, they did a really good job, though, of letting their community know about the funeral
Yeah.
and the
Yes.
services and like, hey, all of our agency is responding to this. And I know that because I was there for peer support.
yeah,
Yes,
from
and
my
when we also
agency.
told them what was going on that night,
Yeah.
the community was very sympathetic to
Oh,
what
yeah.
was going on.
They love their PD.
yeah.
yeah.
Love their
I mean,
PD.
every single person I said, because I don't know jack shit about that city, right? So I'm like asking people like what their address is, not even know how do you spell Fremont, stuff like that, and they're just like, what the hell's going on? And
Who is this
yeah.
guy?
And I'm like, sorry, I don't really work here. This is what's going on. They're like, oh, I forgot. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll call back later. I'm like, are you sure? Because you just got the crap kicked out of you. We can help you. And he's like, nope.
I'll take myself to the hospital.
Yeah,
thanks,
no, he was
though.
just like, nope, I'm good. I'll call back on Saturday and file a report. I was like, wow, you either A, get beaten up way too much or just love these people. So
Yeah.
They've got some weird street names.
They
the
do.
one that was
Yeah.
like Gray and Stripe Boulevard.
oh yeah, they're like 2 or 3 different words put together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and he isn't saying gray and stripe to like try and combine it into one word. It was literally gray and stripe Boulevard.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the street, Gray
Yeah.
and Show.
Yeah.
And try saying that fast when they have one at gunpoint for a radio call with a man with a gun.
Right.
At Gray and Stripe in the 1700 block, you have one at gunpoint. Yeah, that
Did
was
you
one
get
of the
that
calls.
call? I
Yep.
was going to say that
Sure
was
did.
a legit
Yeah.
call. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that guy
then
obviously
Jason's
didn't
sitting
know
here
what
with a
was going
pen
on
like
in
it's the
the city.
1970s.
Hey, go back to what you know, buddy.
Hey, no, it's true. Let's just say there was a whole lot of cleared others and a whole lot of other calls because I didn't know their type codes.
Did
Oh, I
they-
feel bad for the records department when they come in. Every call we had was dispo advised.
Oh,
And we
because
took
they
people
have
to jail.
different type codes too, huh?
Yeah. So I was like
cute.
on like cruise control, right? Trying to put like unknown trouble, UNTRB. And it didn't work. And I'm like, why the fuck isn't this working?
Yeah.
So I just was, Yeah, so I just made it other, and then the first line of the text I put unknown trouble.
I know
So,
they have this one. That's what it is.
Yeah. So I know that unknown trouble. I know other 415 family and 415 work.
And
Did
the
they
30
have-
minutes we sat
well-
with their dispatchers, they go, here's your dispo, you need 2, and that's advised.
Yeah.
2.
Oh my
2.
gosh.
Yeah. But literally within like 5 minutes of us getting there and them talking to us, they're like, "Oh, you guys seem to know what you're doing. Here's our overtime sign up, so feel free."
Oh
my
Well,
God.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
You're
After
welcome
they thought
back.
we were there for patrol.
Yeah. So we both walked in,
I could see
for
it.
sure.
and
Yeah.
we were both in our dispatch uniforms, and the lieutenant like looks up at us because he was, I don't know, he wasn't small, but he was like 5'10", maybe like 180 pounds, and both of us are 6'4", like Jason's what, 220, something like that. Sure.
That
And
sounds good.
I'm a lot heavier than that, and he just kind of looked up at both of us and was like, "Hey, you guys working patrol?" And we're like, "No." And he's like, "Do you want to?" We're like,
No.
Here's
No.
a job application.
Yeah.
Do I need a gun for that?
So, well, and that's city.
Yes.
We'll take you to dispatch. I don't know if you guys are going to fit, but we'll take you to the dispatch center.
Yeah,
'cause
they
their
have a
dispatch center is
tiny dispatch
small.
center. It's just
Yeah.
a little box,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was interesting. It was really cool though, because you don't get to do that a lot.
Did
And so
they
it was a
get
lot of
other
fun.
PD guys to cover their field then? Or?
Yeah, so there was
Yeah.
3 other agencies.
Yeah,
I think.
we were one of them.
Yeah, on
Or
Friday.
we were supposed
on
to
Friday.
be. Yeah.
And they came in on Friday too.
Yeah. We had,
Dude, Burton's came in like everybody there because I think it was because it was graveyard. They were all in like Class B uniforms and like vests, like the tack vests and stuff. Burton shows up like full on Class A, like polished web gear and everything. Like, you here for the funeral? Like, no, we're working patrol. And you're like, all right.
It's funny we talk about those two agencies because those are both of my bosses for Pink Patch.
Really?
Kind of a small world, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, that's how we got it because at our agency it was just like, hey, I know them through Pink Patch. Do you mind working for them on this day? And we're just like, hell yeah, let's roll.
let me ask you this. Which sister has the harder job?
Honestly, I think she has the harder job.
I don't know. I feel like my job is relatively easy.
Because you've known it now for how many years?
Are you
I
on
don't-
3 yet? Are you on 3 years?
Yeah, I'm past 3 years. There
I
are
will
times
say that dispatching is the first couple of years are really, really hard, and then it just becomes super
once
repetitive.
you learn everything, it's really not that difficult. I think people just quit because learning everything is a lot
At once.
Oh yeah,
at
it's
once.
it's
Yeah, it
tough.
can be overwhelming in the beginning.
It can
for sure.
be, yeah, but
But past 3 years, I think she's ready to train.
Oh, that's up to her.
She could do it.
I told them a million times I would train.
I think she'd make a great trainer.
Maybe they just don't want the Valley Girl accent coming
I
out.
would
Oh,
train.
dear God.
Lord. No, it's not the Valley Girl accent. She's a mumbler.
I
do
do
you
mumble.
know
Yeah.
that we had to practice
Oh,
before she got hired? I was like, you need to open your mouth and enunciate because nobody is going to
I'm just
understand
not
you.
a big talker. I don't engage in conversation.
If you really
I
think
use
about
her
it-
for that.
We've never heard our coworkers like on the radio.
Oh, you should listen to
I
Ashley
do.
sometime.
You don't ever plug in and listen when they have a big incident?
Okay, then I do, but that's kind of.
But you're probably
I
not
have
really paying
actually-
attention to that. You're paying attention
I
to the
get
Right.
call.
caught a lot
Yeah.
with an open mic, but always my open
Usually
mic is
singing.
just me singing because when I'm bored, I just tend to sing to myself.
But she's got a good voice, so it's totally fine. It's
What do you
probably
sing?
The watch
soothing.
Give us an
commander-
example.
Yeah, go ahead.
Give us an
No,
example.
no, I don't
No,
do it on purpose.
You have an open mic right now. Go
She's
for it.
blushing.
Yes, she is.
No, one night it was like 3 a.m. I'm
Is it
sitting
Posty?
in the city.
Are you singing Posty?
No, I make
What?
up my own
Post
songs.
Malone. She likes Post
Malone.
Malone.
I
Gotcha.
make up my own songs.
Oh, Lord.
Oh God, you have to
I
give us
need
an example.
I so need an example.
I can't just do it in the moment. I have to.
You have
be-
an open mic.
What's the matter? You
No.
can't perform?
No, I
It's
get
2 a.m.
I get performance shyness.
That's called anxiety, yeah.
Anxiety.
Performance
Okay,
anxiety.
Yeah, another word I made up. No, but one night it was like 3 a.m. I had no idea how to open mic, but I was sitting weird on my side, and you know how our clicker can click.
Yeah, we have a little handheld mic
Yeah.
activator on
So
our
my
waist.
clicker was on, and I had no idea. Solid 7 seconds of open mic singing. The watch commander calls over, and he's just laughing his fucking ass off, and he's like, "What are you singing?" And immediately I look at my light, and my light is on. I'm like, "Oh fuck!" And so I hurry click. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." He's like, "No, it was great. It was like a little bedtime, sing me to
You put
bed."
Patrol to sleep at 3 a.m. Sang him a bedtime lullaby.
Yeah, you were singing
He's like,
lullabies.
if we could get this every night, that would be amazing. It was just a little lullaby. I said, it's time for me to go to break. I'm really embarrassed. Right now.
It's not just humming. Because I remember when I trained her, she would hum when she was trying to
I
think.
do hum a lot also. Yeah, no, this time I was full blown singing.
Wow.
So the
Operatic?
rest of the night, every time
You're not getting out of here without an example.
I'm not singing. Every time an officer would go OTA that night, he would sing before he put out his track.
That's awesome.
I just
You should try and get copies of those
Yes.
recordings.
Yes. When was this?
I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
It was recently.
Our new intro.
Oh, absolutely. I will push. I will
Intro
clip
for
you into the intro.
911. That's going to be the last
I'll send you
clip
the
for the
text
intro.
later that
Yes.
has the
I'll even
date.
I'll change the out music to Ashley just singing and humming.
Yes, that'd be perfect.
So I don't think I've ever seen her blush this much. Look at her. She's so red.
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
So
Cute.
Although I'd rather be caught singing than have an open mic talking shit about somebody. I will
That
say
happens
that.
a lot.
What's
Yeah,
your
it
worst
does.
open mic you can tell?
I've been very good. I've never done anything bad on an open mic.
I've heard stories about your open mics.
No, like what?
Blowing your nose just into
Yeah,
the
but
fucking mic.
I'm talking about.
And when Jeffrey blows his nose, you want to ask
Sounds
him.
like a
Yes,
nor'easter
but-
coming through.
Yeah,
I'm talking
you
like-
want to ask him if he's okay. If he needs, do you need the paramedic?
Listen, just because I cough like I have tuberculosis. Listen, I thought you were talking about like embarrassing open mics. I don't care if I blow my nose.
well, it takes a lot to embarrass you. I think
Yeah.
in general.
So, I mean, I don't think I've ever said anything bad on the radio because I'm usually really cautious because I've heard stories about just go to the fucking call stories, and I'm not going to do that. And like, I remember I messed with one time and knew that she had an open mic because on the old consoles, there was a push button on the side of the console you could push.
Oh, God.
And she had her leg up and like legs crossed, I should say. And she turned in the seat and accidentally with her boot pushed the microphone button. And like an hour earlier in the night, she had told a story about being down in Mexico and playing with a donkey. And
oh my god.
I knew the radio had clicked on, and I'm like, "Hey, Carmen, can you tell us the funny part about that again?" She's like, "Seriously, the donkey story is not that funny, guys." Straight OTA, and everybody just started going like,
"What's the donkey
yeah.
story?"
Like as soon as she said it, I just started laughing, and she was like, "Why are you?" Fuck. And then it was just like ding, 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 ding. She had like 20 messages in a row that just popped up. Yeah, and every single one of them was like, "So, what's this donkey we're hearing about?"
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She was
Luckily,
pissed.
I haven't had any of those, but I have gotten caught sending CAD messages and sending it to the person I was talking about.
I've done that.
So
That's
Where you're
easy
like-
to do, though.
Yeah, because you're thinking about them, and then you just accidentally send it to them.
It's the
Right,
same thing
yeah.
with like texts. You're like,
Yeah.
I just sent the screenshot to the person I screenshotted.
Yeah, yeah.
It's bad.
These
It
are
happens.
technology things.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah, no,
okay.
I'm keeping it
Okay.
on.
Okay. Just making sure you're keeping
Just
up.
letting them tell their story.
Okay. Just making sure you're keeping up.
I'm here.
So, all right. So, speaking of technology changes, Ashley, you're still pretty new to this, so not a lot has changed since you started. But what's like one of the biggest things that you've seen change in the world of public safety since you started?
I think probably knowing where people are a little more accurate. Before we had rapid deploy, if somebody didn't know where they are, it was very difficult to pinpoint them
Yeah.
just based on a cell tower because you only have X amount of cell towers.
Yeah.
So that has been very helpful, especially in emergencies. If people don't really obviously remain calm and don't know where they're at. So at least we can get in a general area now, I think.
Do you think rapid deploy's been here long enough that when we broadcast per rapid deploy, the officers understand
No.
what we're saying about?
No, they have no
They have
idea.
no idea what that is.
I've asked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just, like everything else we say, they just say, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have no idea what dispatch said.
Yeah. That or they'll say, I'm sorry, did you say something about a gun? That's usually all they hear.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Well, they do what we do. We only pay attention to the important parts, really.
They got the address.
yeah.
Yeah.
Address and weapons.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because when like I dispatched for one of our agencies and their MDCs were all shut down because they weren't working this week, I think. Maybe it was last week. And it changed everything. Like they were asking me like 4 times, like, what was the address? Can you confirm the numbers? What was the address? Can you confirm the numbers?
We had that
Because you
too.
see they just, I think it's just unconscious. They're just so used to looking at the computer in the
Right.
car to see the address
Right.
that when they don't have that, they're like, crap, I got to write it down again. And
Which,
Well,
by the
that's
way, we
cool.
greatly appreciate when they use their computers.
yes.
Right. Some
Yes.
cities. And
But I think it gives them
Even
a
though they
certain
have a
level of
computer.
appreciation for dispatch when they don't have the option of using the computer.
Yes.
they have to listen to us for
Yeah.
once.
Yeah. And I think that when they do
Crazy.
that, it kind of reminds them, it's like, oh, most of these people know what they're doing. So,
Or at least we pretend to.
yeah, fake it till you make it, right?
Exactly.
You know? So, what about you, Amy? What's the biggest change you've seen in public safety since you started?
Honestly, I think it's just everyone getting away with crime. I mean, our guys work so flippin' hard every day to make these arrests and, write these reports, send them to jail, and then nothing happens. It's hours later that you have a ticket and you're on your way, which we know nobody goes to court. So that turns into a warrant, and here you are.
And now from COVID, it's a $1 warrant.
Yeah, it's just, it's sad and it's frustrating. And I know, a lot of guys are retiring because they're like, why?
Today you can literally get away with murder in the state of California.
Pretty much. That's what it seems like anyways.
It was weird because since COVID, everything's like, oh, it's a $1 warrant, and they're not going to do anything for under, a $2 million warrant they don't care about. I had a guy from Farmingville, Kentucky or Tennessee went to call this week. I was like, hey, I got a guy out there. He's at this address, and he's got a like a $50,000 bribery warrant that we're willing to extradite on.
Yeah.
And I was like,
out of state.
I'm sorry, you're from like basically the East Coast, and you're willing to extradite on a $50,000 warrant post COVID? And he's like, yeah.
Out of state, they don't fuck around.
Yeah, I was just astonished. I was like, for $50,000, and he's just like, yeah. And I was like, okay, hold on. I called the watch commander, and he's like, what is it? And I was a $50,000 warrant. He's like, if they're willing to do the legwork, we'll go detain him. I don't care. And I was like, okay. And I told the guys like, because he had mental issues as well. So I told the guy from Tennessee, I'm like, if he shows mental issues, we're gonna have to bring him to IRC, and then you're gonna have to deal with LA County sheriffs and all this stuff. And he's like, I don't care. That's fine. I was like, holy shit, you guys are willing to go to bat.
You really want this guy, don't you?
Yeah. And it was just a bribery charge. I mean, I didn't see the details, but I was just like, damn. All right.
That guy probably upset the wrong person.
That was the crime of the century out in Kentucky.
Yeah. So, although it might be with bribing a cop, I don't know. But yeah, I was astonished. I was like, holy shit, okay, go ahead, extradite. So, but yeah, it is kind of sad, the evolution of where we are. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, even before we put out a petty theft call now, the first question the officers ask, are they desirous? Like they don't even want to respond unless they're desirous, which I get because it's a liability.
Right. Why are you going to do all this work, potentially get yourself hurt?
Right. Yeah. Why risk getting in a fight for somebody who's not desirous?
When no one is willing to prosecute the crime. And I think that's what these businesses don't understand is they have to be willing to prosecute. Mm-hmm.
There's a couple now that when you talk to them, like they'll know that we're going to ask. And
Dollar Tree, 14,700 Crenshaw.
I fucking hate
Big
that
fives
Dollar
too.
Tree.
Yeah.
They stole one candy bar.
Yeah.
We're desirous.
Yep. Because they know that's the only way to get a report taken.
Their story later, and then they say, "Oh, we just want the items back." You want your candy bar that they opened and partially ate back?
But I don't blame them because that's what the changes in the regime have created.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So, anyways, enough on politics because that's a rabbit hole that we probably don't want to go down on this show. So,
however, I have a question for Amy. You said you worked the front desk at your agency in the past. Mm-hmm. Any crazy lobby stories?
I was discussing this with my partners today, and we were like, God, we all sat there, all five of us, and we were like, we cannot think of anything crazy. The only thing we all had...
We must be popular at their front desk.
Why?
Because you're discussing all the questions that we're going to ask you.
Oh.
She likes to be
read
prepared.
the questions.
I'm just more like, let me glance at it.
Yeah, she came in with like a notepad full of notes and literature and a pen, and Ashley just shows up basically with a cup of water, and I'm assuming it's water. It's red. It might be wine.
It's a lemonade packet insert.
I'm actually surprised it's not coffee.
I had
That's
the
in
coffee
the car
on the way here.
Yeah,
that's why I was anxious.
Have you heard
had
of?
To pee?
And also, I had to pee.
That's normal. Have you heard of furry potato? No, fuzzy potato.
Fuzzy
potato.
Yes.
So
most people haven't.
That First Amendment.
Yes, First Amendment auditor.
Yeah.
So
what's a First Amendment auditor?
Oh Lord, I don't even want to get into this. We get a lot of them, to be honest with you.
Really?
A lot of them film outside of the Air Force Base.
So a First Amendment auditor, correct me if I'm wrong, is somebody that goes around and tries to, I guess for a politically correct way of do this, quote unquote, ensure that public safety and government personnel are adhering to First Amendment rights for people.
Correct.
You can say it blatantly. They also try to bait police.
They sure do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
There's been a couple of them that go South Bay to South Bay City and have sued and have won.
Is there a Second Amendment auditor? I'd like them to audit.
Not in California.
So anyways, fuzzy potato. I always get it wrong. Is it fuzzy or furry?
I think it's fuzzy.
I think it's fuzzy.
Either way, something with lots of hair.
Something potato.
Don't talk about me like that.
So
You're not even wearing your V-neck today. I can't see your chest hair.
I can pull the shirt down if you want.
Lord.
Let Amy talk.
So I think she goes by she. Would come into the station all the time.
Wait, Fuzzy Potato goes by she?
Yeah.
Because they post videos. That's not.
It's a Man.
It's California, bro.
Yeah,
You can choose.
She's
She's
a
whatever
female.
she wants to be.
Female.
I didn't know that aspect. Okay.
Yeah, she comes in fully dressed like a girl. She's always been nice to me, thank God. She always comes in and compliments my eyelashes, which makes me feel great.
Your family does have a
We have great lashes.
I was about to say they're very intense.
Thank you.
All
Anyways.
the family.
I use them to travel sometimes.
Yeah.
Her
Fly
former
away.
vehicle had them too.
Yes, I was about to say.
remember that.
I was about to say her bug.
She quickly took those off, though. She was embarrassed.
Yeah, everybody made fun of me.
Gee, I wonder why.
So then I got a more adult vehicle.
The
you just-
Jeep.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
the
an
Jeep.
adult vehicle.
Okay.
Were you talking about the Prius?
Yeah, I was talking about the Prius.
Jeff looked at me and go, she can't meet the Prius.
Yeah.
No, that's my thanks Joe Biden vehicle.
Hey, I'm driving my mom's thanks Joe Biden vehicle right now, so I hear you. I understand.
It's expensive, man.
Yeah,
$60
$8.
to fill that fucking thing up.
Yeah, a Prius. Yeah, I
A
spent
Prius?
$55 to fill up a Lexus. Yeah.
I do not drive a fucking Prius to pay.
Imagine if you're filling up the Jeep. Sorry, we got way off
Yeah,
topic.
I was going
It's
to say, I
fine.
saw a statistic where the average price for a gallon of gas is now more than the hourly federal wage.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a gas station in LA that's I want to say it's like over $8.
$7.
It's over $8, yeah.
I'm sure up north is. Okay, back to fuzzy.
Yeah, anyway, back to the fuzzy
Next
potato.
on Politico.
No, I don't really have anything exciting about him. We just like
Her.
her. God damn, her. She's like I
Them.
said, she's
Just
always
use them.
She's always been very nice.
You can't. It's plural. It doesn't suit.
About Fuzzy.
We're getting on
I have a
topic
crazy
again.
lobby story. You were there. What was his name? Mark.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, I was a little scared for my life.
She had
I'm going to start this off with
How did this escape your mind?
why was Ashley in the lobby?
at my lobby.
Oh, well, okay. So I had worked the night before, and all night this crazy druggy guy kept calling from the in and out and her
threatening you guys,
threatening us over the
Yes,
phone. Just
dispatch
being,
you.
Yeah, I was like, sir, I'm trying to help you.
She never sounds like that, just to be clear to everybody.
Right. That was
Yeah.
the most full of
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
Ashley
That
statement
was-
ever said.
I really care about your needs right now, Mark. So
Wow, she even knew his name.
Yeah, because this
I do.
is
Well,
how
I
crazy
remember
he
his
was.
name because he called probably over 50 times.
Wait, is this the masturbator?
No. I mean, he might do that, but that's
Okay.
I don't think she feared for her life.
Yeah,
No, there was a guy that kept
get a little messy out here.
there was a guy that kept calling RCC and like masturbating on the phone as he was talking to the female dispatchers.
Oh, creepy.
Oh no!
Hold on one
yeah,
second.
He
Yeah.
calls all the time.
Yeah,
He'll
I don't know if
sit
that was the
there
same guy or not.
and
No.
he
Could you imagine?
breathes-
Hold on one second, then one of us pick up the phone. Hi.
Yeah.
How are you, sir?
Wait, I want the other one. Bring her back.
He's just calling all night, being crazy, and citizens were calling on him too because he's out there screaming, yelling, threatening people.
In my
Also,
city.
They responded
call.
out there at least 5 different times, and I'm like, can you guys just fucking take this guy to jail because he's annoying for one. So finally they
Because annoying is breaking the law.
Well, no,
Right,
but
yeah.
at
What's the booking charge?
At the
Fucking
point
annoying.
that he threatened the officer, I think they took him for 422, didn't they?
well that and when they finally put him in cuffs and searched him, he had drugs on him. So they were able
Shocking!
Yeah. So he was
I need to have
all-
a shocking button on here.
yeah, we need sound
Soundboard.
effects.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Which obviously he was on drugs. I think he was on meth. No, he was acting crazy. And so
I think it was meth.
after,
Nice.
threatening to kill a bunch of people, shoot up the place, blah, blah, they finally take him to jail. But the next morning, I had to go to the station. I was dropping something off. Oh, I think one of my hats
One of
that
her
I made
hats.
for somebody. And I go to the front lobby, and I fucking knew as soon as I seen him that it was him sitting in front of the lobby waiting for it to open. Because, we got
We
off
had
at
Because
6
he just
a.m.
award.
We had his property. So he had to come get his property.
Yeah, so
Oh.
he's waiting out there. And as soon as
You
he
didn't give him his property
spoke-
back when you released him?
Well, we book at another agency now. So
Staffing issues, bro.
the property comes to us. The body stays with them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So as soon as I see him, I fucking know it's him, and I'm like, oh shit! I'm texting my sister, open the fucking door right now. And he looks at me. He was sleeping, so he wakes up because I'm trying to be quiet as a mouse, like don't wake up, don't wake up, don't wake up.
Were you in uniform?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I'm full uniform.
Well, that was stupid because you're not supposed to do that.
No, I have my jacket.
She had her
on,
jacket on.
Oh, okay.
which normally I work out after work, so I'm in workout clothes. But that morning I didn't. So I'm texting her. I'm like, Mark's out here. Hurry, come and get me.
And I was like,
she's like,
who the
who's
hell
Mark?
is
Because
Mark?
she's just getting to work,
Yeah.
so she doesn't know the night we had. And he wakes up and he looks me in the eye. He's like, good morning, miss. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
That was a little Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you use a different voice so we didn't recognize you?
Well, I'm in uniform, so I was just like, oh, good morning.
She was covering the jacket part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she couldn't get to the door fast enough.
Did you ask if Ashley threw her voice in person?
Yeah.
all I get is
Yeah.
frantic text like, hurry, come let me in. You need to get to the door. And I was like, what is wrong with her? Like, I'm coming as fast as I can get here.
You should have told her to call 911.
I should have. Yeah, I should have. What I,
That's
oh gosh.
There was a certain agency who a subject who was suffering from mental issues blew up 911 throughout the night, and they finally just started canceling the calls.
Mhm.
I remember that.
3 hours later, the guy is so tired of getting his calls canceled, he drives his car through the lobby doors of
Oh,
the
yeah, I remember
police
that.
department.
Yes, I was there.
I
that
remember
night.
that one.
Yep.
That
And
was
it was
after
already
your already
busy night
crazy
because
day.
it was 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was
It was 4th of July.
Yeah.
Yes,
There was
Yeah.
fireworks calls
Oh,
that
yeah,
get
I was
canceled.
there.
That's
And
right.
we like see this car
Yeah.
go down, Hawthorne Boulevard, and 2 seconds later,
Boom.
yeah, I took that call actually. Yeah, someone just drove their car into the station lobby, and I said, "I'm sorry.
You're calling it an
And that's
illegal
it. You
parker?
just said, I'm sorry.
Can you repeat that, please?"
She made up an illegal parker.
Probably.
You're not supposed to park there, sir.
So did you finally get to the door and let her in?
I did. I let her in, and he was like slumped over, and he just stared at me with those creepy, crazy
But
eyes.
then the
and I
rest
was
of the
like,
morning,
oh God.
remember, he was harassing
He
them
was
all morning.
I mean, at one point, that was like part of the crazy lobby story. It was this guy. I just couldn't remember the beginning of the story. So thank you, Ashley.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there was probably our entire station in the lobby with this guy that day. He just was 415. He got his property back. And when I say property, we had 2 rolling carts of property. And our property in
Is it
Evan Sky is
homeless?
But he wouldn't leave because they wouldn't give him the
Is it
drugs
like shopping
back.
cart items? Or?
no, it's like
That's why
Like
he was
an
so
evidence
upset
rolling
because
cart.
they wouldn't give him his drugs back, so he was fucking pissed.
yeah,
Like,
he
I
wanted
want
his
all
meth
my
back.
property.
We were like, sir,
Hey, you
that's,
pay good money for that.
that's booked for destruction. You're not getting that back.
Have you
So
guys,
then
do you
the
ever watch
property-
the show Cops
Look at
when
it
you were
this way,
growing
you're
up?
not getting charged with
Yeah.
it either.
That's, yeah.
Exactly.
Did you ever watch Cops when you were growing up?
Yeah.
There's a hilarious cop scene I'll never forget. It's this old lady, not old lady, she was on meth, so she was probably like 20, but she looked like she was 70. And she called the cops because her drug dealer didn't give her drugs after she paid for them. And so the cops roll up there and she's like, I want my drugs. I gave him $20 and I want
Yeah,
my fucking
that's-
drugs.
I remember
and
that.
and the cop's like, you called us because he's not giving you your drugs
Right.
and you want us to retrieve your drugs and give them to you? And she's like, yes.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
And you just sit there and you're like, I mean, job security for these people.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, how are you this stupid?
There will never not be a need for.
I'm pretty sure their dispatcher heard word 10-8.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to deal with that because I just be like, oh, okay, so you want us to do this, and then I
I've
want to be
made
like,
a call
can you
like that.
can you point out the drug dealer to me, please?
I have personally made a call like that.
Yeah.
The person was upset that their friend who came over stole.
You
all
made a
their
call
drugs.
like that one
Yes.
time? Somebody was holding your drugs?
Yeah. They
Not her
stole-
drugs.
not
She,
my
she didn't
drugs.
get it.
Wait, not my drugs. I
She
don't
didn't
need
get it.
drugs.
No. Flew over her head.
Yeah,
I don't need drugs. I'm just hyper normally. Okay.
it's coffee.
Yep.
Caffeine is a level 1
That's true.
class narcotic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Mm.
Yeah. So
When I don't have it, I do get a headache.
that's because you're addicted to it. Yeah. So with all the different like crazy shit that you guys do at work and deal with and all that stuff, like how do you de-stress from work?
Drugs. No, I'm just kidding.
Coffee.
They have dealers.
Yeah.
We do really like our coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
On our days off, when we
it's
have a
You
day off
de-stress with
together-
caffeine?
No, that was a joke.
Okay.
Whoa.
So the crazy thing, like, so I've been camping with these two, right? And like Ashley, more so than Amy, but Ashley has like a coffee regiment in her cooler.
Okay.
And it has to be a specific brand and a specific type and a specific flavor and a specific consistency and all this.
Okay, you're
all
being
this
dramatic.
shit.
A
No,
little dramatic.
no.
No, it's
I
that.
thought I
it's
was
that.
bougie with my coffee, but
Yeah.
she is way
She is
worse.
fucking bougie.
Yeah, it's way worse. I'm
We-
sorry. I can't back you on this
Yeah.
one.
So we were like one day from going,
okay.
right? We were like one day from going, and she
Whoa,
sends
I feel
me
attacked.
we were one day from going camping, and she sends me a text message. It says, "My store's out of my coffee. I need you to go get me some coffee." Because I sent her a message, "Hey, I'm going to the store. Do you need anything for the camp trip?"
Yeah, you offered. That's your fault.
But I was thinking like,
was it the Chobani?
yeah. So I was thinking she's going to say like, "Yeah, buy some chips." Or give me some kind of coffee. And she was
Knowing that he's a man, I had to Google the coffee, take a picture, screenshot of the coffee, send him the picture of the coffee.
That's the only way he's going to get the order right.
Right.
But listen, how come it couldn't just be get a bottle of iced coffee?
It's not the same.
Because
Every
then I'd have to
coffee
have
is
you get
different.
the creamer and get the the sugar and blah blah blah.
I guess my question is, how come you can't just drink a cup of coffee?
Let me ask you
I
this.
suppose I could.
How come you just can't drink a beer?
Or
Because I need more than one.
Wait, or
I'll drink
coffee.
any beer.
You don't drink coffee
Will you?
either.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
I don't give a
drink
shit.
coffee.
Yeah, I do.
Sometimes
Since
he does.
when?
It's just rarely. I do it. I just don't drink every day.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'll drink hot black coffee, iced coffee, the Chobani crap that you have.
Now that you've tasted it,
Dude, it's so
Actually,
good. It's like
It is
eating
good.
a Snickers.
Sugar.
Yeah.
It is good, but funny story. Ever since you told me, have you looked at the ingredients in this? And I looked at the ingredients in that. I don't drink that coffee anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
So the back of this cup. So we fast forwarded. She literally sends me like 5 text messages, including a picture that says it looks like this. It has to be this specific one. It has this color label. It's this
gonna be
many
in this
ounces.
section.
It's in
Usually
this
it's
section next to this and this, next to the butter and the milk and all this. And I'm literally like, are you fucking kidding me?
Just got your mission orders.
And so I look at it and I pick it up and it's the right one. And I took a picture of it. I'm like, just make sure this is the right one. And I sent it to her and she said yes. So I knew no matter what, I was going to get put in a doghouse for fucking getting the wrong coffee. So then I like taste it and I'm like, oh my God, this stuff is delicious.
amazing.
And then I look at the back, it's literally got like 30 something grams of sugar for 8 ounces. And I'm like, this is almost as bad as a Coke. And it has caffeine, like amazing. That's so good, but
it's delicious.
it's so good. But yeah,
Yeah,
we went
I don't
camping
drink it anymore.
and she has like an ice chest of like drinking ice. So she fills up her cup with ice and then fills up her cup with this coffee and then puts other things in it and then puts it on. And then I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? And we're in the middle of Death Valley and she's doing this.
Heck yeah, we were.
And it was like 10 in the morning.
It was great.
It was
Good
weird.
coffee.
No, you weren't there on that.
No, yeah, this
No,
trip
it's a
was.
different one?
That
Yeah,
was
this
the
is when
Death
she.
Valley
the
trip.
same one that I
The
went
Death
with you
Valley
guys.
trip where you almost turned me in as missing.
Oh, I did. I almost reported y'all as missing people.
Oh, yeah, because you couldn't get a hold of either of us.
It started to get a little
Nah.
nerve wracking.
She knows.
So-
Oh gosh, she's going camping with Jeffrey. Better
Which
be
means
on
it's going to
high
be.
alert.
Which means it's going to be
amazing,
awesome and
But she's
entertaining.
gonna get lost.
And,
They
and
may or may
listen,
not come
I
back.
never get
I know,
lost.
I know.
I know
With the
exactly
equipment
where
you
I'm
have,
going.
That's
Yes.
true. I never know where I'm going. I basically just wing the entire trip, and
Yeah.
I was going to
Stresses
say,
me
that
out.
is the total opposite of Jeffrey because I know he has all the toys.
yeah,
I know
he's
where
got
he
it.
is.
Oh,
all
yeah.
the
tried
time.
to give me the tools too, and they're just way too high tech for me.
Yeah,
and
Google
I
Maps.
basically
Way too
asked
high-tech.
him-
She
I
got
asked
lost
him,
getting
"Can you just
here."
Give me a paper map. Give
true.
me the map, okay?
But paper maps are more difficult to use than Google
Not
Maps.
for me, no. Mm-mm.
And you shouldn't
I
be
can-
worried whenever I go with her because I have a GPS
I know that's
texting
I
thing.
Take it
So
back. I take it
yeah.
back.
Yeah,
But that's why I ended up
she
messaging
got a hold
you.
of you and
Yeah,
not
I
me.
did. I was worried.
Well, we did have to save somebody from getting.
Oh no,
Dead.
they were
Well,
buried at least.
Yeah.
But they were
We
alive.
didn't really save them, but we tried.
We tried.
That's
I
all that
got
matters.
stuck. So
Can't save everyone.
yeah, but I still can't believe
That's
that.
my motto, at
That's a whole other side story. But there was this like 80-year-old guy that on his birthday he and his son went camping in Death Valley because he's a photographer, and they got their van like giant
Sprinter
Mercedes
van.
Sprinter van stuck in the sand.
Rental.
And they hiked for 5 or 6 miles overnight
In Death Valley.
in Death Valley to they found the nearest campsite, but the way they started is they got out of their van and they looked around Death Valley at night and they saw a light and they walked to the light. And it was like 6 miles, 7 miles.
Honestly,
and they
to
just
be
walked
fair,
to the
though,
light.
They were way further back than I thought, and if
Yeah.
they would have stayed with the car, I don't think anyone would have found them.
Oh no, absolutely not. Because they were like, there's like not a main road, but there's like a main dirt road, and they were like 2 miles off of this main dirt road in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even somebody that can't, like we found to try and help us out, who goes to Death Valley all the time, was like, these people are in the middle of nowhere. Like, and this old guy, like he would have died if it
They're
wasn't
in the middle of
winter.
nowhere. In the middle of nowhere.
He would have legit died if it was
Yeah,
any time other than winter.
That's scary.
And if they would have tried to, well, it wasn't that hot yet.
No, because it was still winter
It
time.
was
So
still winter. Yeah. Actually, it was fucking freezing.
Yeah, our first night. This is the funny story. I tell her, like, she's like, well, what's the weather going to be like? What should I wear? What should I bring? Blah, 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 blah.
I gotta be
And I
prepared.
literally was just like, the Google says it's going to be like 40 to 50 degrees, so you should be fine. And she's like, okay.
It's not that cold.
No, so our
She
first,
lived in Salt Lake City.
yeah,
for
our
5
first
years.
campsite, it was 17 degrees that night.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I'm freezing my fucking balls
I was
out.
like, oh.
Balls that
So
I don't
Google's
even
not
have.
always
They're
right.
freezing.
No. Yeah.
Oh,
They're just
and
rubber.
I brought my dog with me too, and he was shivering. That's how cold it was.
And he's a big dog.
And
I mean, he's not a big dog.
Well, he's got a lot of meat to keep him warm.
Maybe his teeth were just freezing because they're never covered.
No.
His teeth.
His underbite?
Oh,
Overbite? I don't
Under.
know. Under, right? Okay.
but he's so cute.
Well, he's
I wish we
something.
could add pictures to your podcast
I
because
know.
it would really
I
help.
can. I'll post. I'll clip in the YouTube video of that trip where Bentley's in my YouTube video.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that was a cute picture because he kind of wandered off and he's just looking at the stars, looking up at the sky, just contemplating life and his owner. And
Her craziness.
And how cold he is.
yeah, so I put his sweater on him, and I think
That's how
that
crazy
got
she
him
is.
a
She
little.
puts sweaters on her dogs. She also dresses them up for Christmas pictures, right?
All holidays.
Bougie.
Yes.
All holidays.
Yeah. So, Ashley, how other than drinking coffee, how do you de-stress at work? Or de-stress from work, I should say.
Honestly, when I'm not at work, I don't give a fuck about work or anything that is happening at work. Some people I feel like might take work home with them. Not me. I've never had that problem.
She is
No?
super able to detach. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you don't give a shit.
I give a shit, okay, when I'm at
Just
work.
not when she's on her days
When
off.
I'm not at work, I do not. You're correct. Just ask all my exes.
I thought she was going to say she makes hats.
I do make hats. Yes, I have a hat company, and I like.
You can say what the name of the company is,
AR Hat Co.
like AR-15,
Yeah, something like that.
something like that.
Actually, that's pretty clever.
So
Especially now.
yeah, I make hats.
What kind of hats do you make?
Well, they're fur felt hats, cowboy hats, but whatever style you want, really. If you can think it, I could probably make it. And palm leaf straw hats for the summertime when you don't want to wear a fur hat on your head. It gets, a little sweaty.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Are these like what are those hats that you always see like Colombians wear, or not Colombians, but
No.
Cubans wear? They're like
Oh, palm leaf.
palm leaf.
No, well, they're way cuter than that.
Okay. So this is obviously for women.
No,
No,
I've made
she's
Oh.
made tons of some of our guys.
a
have all
majority
cowboy
of my
hats.
customers have actually been men.
Okay.
Yeah, ironically, because every man needs a good cowboy hat, right?
It's true. I think you need one
I have one.
from Ashley.
Nope,
From
I have a
me,
real one.
handmade.
Hers are
These are
real.
real.
I have a
use
handmade.
the highest grain rabbit fur that there is. Sorry, any animal activists out there.
I have a 25X
Beaver.
beaver skin Stetson. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's not an AR hat co, but it's
It's
fine.
not.
I can make. I've made beaver hats also, but for the price, rabbit is way less expensive.
Have you
Yeah.
done straw hats?
Yeah, I do straw hats.
I might need one for mowing my parents' lawn.
I could go for a straw cowboy hat.
Oh,
I need a new one. Mine's done.
That shameless
So-
plug.
So my my dad's, well, he's dead now, but my dad's old best friend, who was like,
Oh, I thought you meant your dad.
no,
know,
my
I was
dad's
like,
old
oh,
best friend. No,
Wait, when did this
No.
happen?
Holy cow. Don't do that
he was like
Horrible.
he like grew up in Bishop and was like a legit cowboy. Owned a bunch of property out there and like a couple of ranches where they used to film all these westerns. He was good friends with like Gene Autry and John Wayne and all these
That's
people.
cool.
And I'm not sure which actor, but it was either Gene Autry or John Wayne bought him a 100X,
Wow.
100% chinchilla, diamond encrusted cowboy hat.
That's
Dang.
pricey.
It was like 25 grand for a hat.
Well, let me put it this way. The cost to me when I buy my rabbit blanks, and beaver is more expensive. That's why I try to keep it to rabbit because they both last just as long.
Yeah.
My cost is $75 a blank.
Yeah.
So beaver goes up to about $120 just to buy the blank.
Yeah.
So you can imagine
crazy, isn't it?
That's not
Last
shaped.
cowboy hat I bought was $50.
Yeah. That's because it was a piece of
that's
shit.
'cause it's not real. Yeah. Also,
just like
mine are way better
felt.
quality too. All these companies nowadays, they claim that they're handmade. They're not. They press them. They have molds, and the only
They'll
thing,
just finish them by hand, go with like a
the
hand
only
finish
thing
shape.
that's handmade is probably they touch the hat to sew in the headband with a sewing machine. I hand sew everything.
Because you can't afford a sewing machine.
She has like two.
I have a sewing machine. I
It's
just
supposed to be a joke. Jesus, Amy.
Wasn't funny.
Yeah, because
Sorry.
Anyways,
I like to use my hands when I make things.
well, that's cool.
She's talented.
Yeah. Do you make hats too?
I don't. I have no talent.
Please don't tell me you just drink to relax at work from
not
work.
at all. Definitely not one of those. No.
Yeah,
I
not
like
you,
to-
Jason. I mean,
No one's judging you.
Well,
If
she
that's,
likes
if that's
to
your
go.
thing.
I mean, she comes with me off-roading, and we like to go camping.
Yeah,
and
how come you don't have a
travel.
Jeep? You could be the Jeeping
She just
sisters.
uses mine.
Yeah, I just
She
hop
borrows
in
Then you can have your
hers.
own.
She's way better at driving it.
Yeah,
That's a scary thought.
I know, right?
Because
I'm
the
a
last
great driver.
really, what fell off your Jeep last time we were all off-roading?
boy.
Okay, my trailer hitch because you took way too long to warn me about the fucking sand pit that we were about to fall into.
I didn't know I was supposed to warn you.
Well, you
Like
have to,
flashing lights. I don't know. Hands out the window.
I know.
when there's a big cloud of dust in front of me, I can't always see.
I have a dust light on anytime we go anywhere. It's a bright yellow light that shines backwards, so you know
but
where my
that
car
was
is.
like at least a 10-foot drop that I
Oh
went into.
God, no, it wasn't.
It was. It
Y-
felt
your
like
your
it.
Jeep's taller
Ask
than
Belly.
not even
It
10 feet
felt
tall.
Like Belly
Dude, your
flew to
4Runner
the
looks like a
ceiling and
cruise
hit
ship.
his
I
head.
know, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Listen, it was literally maybe a foot.
If I
maybe.
had a camera recording inside my vehicle, you would see Bentley in the passenger seat fly
She
up
said
to
he
the
hit the roof.
ceiling. His head hit the roof, and he came back in his seat. That's how hard I hit.
Did it fix his underbite?
Oh, poor baby.
So it was a good trip
bad.
though.
That was
She popped her off-roading chair a few times and was very scared, and
Yeah.
you know, we educated her on why she needs real rock sliders and not the cheap pieces of shit one she has.
Well, you know,
Yep.
just owning a Jeep in general is very expensive.
It is,
And I
especially
have a lot
now.
of
Thanks,
I was
Joe.
gonna say, why don't you tell them how much you've put on your 4Runner since you've owned it?
Yeah.
Oh God, I just picked up my 4Runner from the shop again, and it now has 14,500 and change just in suspension.
Dang.
Just in suspension.
Just in suspension, and it's not done yet.
Have you tripled what you paid for the car?
No,
yet?
I think total. If you take everything that I have in there that I can take, so I'll rephrase this. So there's stuff obviously that has to stay on the car and stuff I can take on
Right.
and off. If I load everything that I've bought to go off roading, and I'm talking like camping equipment, tools, recovery gear, all that stuff, I'm easily at over $90,000
Dang.
easily. And my car was 44 and change when I bought it.
Have you
That's-
doubled the weight of your car?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm over
Oh,
the
yeah,
curb weight.
Yeah.
I'm
he's-
1,000 pounds over the curb weight of the car.
You can see it on.
Yeah.
His,
So
That's
like,
why I like to go with him, because he has all the things that can get me unstuck.
yeah.
he
So
also
I have.
has all the things needed for camping, like knives and forks.
Yeah, so like it's really weird,
And
and
others.
I'll try and post a picture of it. But I have expound.
Well, when
What-
Well, you
she
just have
doesn't
all these
plan for
fancy-
anything,
Oh, yeah, that's
You
true.
have all the
Oh my god!
fancy
So let me
gear.
tell you a story. We went. So I got invited with
he's
them.
like, "When are we getting to Pink Patch?"
We're doing a whole nother episode on Pink Patch, so you're going to be here for another hour if you can be. If you can't be, it's no big deal. I'm not even gonna be able to go to the concert I was supposed to go to tonight. So
Who are you seeing?
it's a jazz
Oh, you're going
jazz
to
show.
another one?
Yeah, but it's I don't know what it's called. I'll explain later. Anyways, we went camping one time, and I think she just got in her Jeep. It's when we went to not Central California, but whatever the
The first trip.
first time, and we went to. I don't know where we went. It was off the 5. It was like a couple hours north of your house. Anyways, I have my Jeep, and you guys were staying the night, and I wasn't staying the night. I was just going for the day. And we get there, and she literally has nothing. She's like, "Hey, I'm staying the night. I don't really have anything." I was like, "Okay." So I pack up my car and bring her like 4 crates of shit. They're like, "Here's camping gear. Here's a tent. Here's a
had a
dual
tent.
sleeping bag. Here's a hat because you don't have a baseball hat. Like, here's a
The hat maker didn't have a hat.
I know. This was before she started making hats.
Oh.
And I was just like, here's a small set of tools in case you get stuck. Here's an air compressor
This is
so
why
you can
my sister gets worried when I go places alone, because I
She doesn't
just do
plan.
not prepare.
Yeah.
I
Stresses
just
me
wing
out.
it. I don't even have a destination.
Yeah.
Really.
So like, I mean, it was so bad. I just shook my head at the end of it. I was like, oh my God, please just let me get most of this stuff back. It was bad.
Hey,
She
I
doesn't have
already have
anything.
Stressed me out.
Yeah.
She's gotten better now. She's got.
I bring a blanket now.
Yeah.
case I get
And a
cold.
dog.
A dog. She's
So
got
she
a
has food just in
whole-
case.
She's got a whole like.
You know I
bin
have
now.
coffee, so
Yeah.
Coffee's there,
I'll be
yeah.
That's true.
awake while I'm stuck.
That's true. But yeah. In my car, like I have a self-built 3-story or 3-drawer system that's got like a full garage tool set in it, like a
I've seen it.
300
I've seen
place
the stairway that leads to the
Yeah.
second floor.
Yeah, no, I have a
that's
ladder.
true.
I have a fridge and a freezer. Like I tell people, like, oh, I'm totally self-contained for at least 7 days, and they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm like, no, I have a water heater. I have a water pump. I've got 10 gallons
He's
of
got
water.
a studio apartment
Yeah.
on the roof of
He
his
really
floor.
I have a
does.
queen size bed with a
And
bed
he
on the
also
roof.
paid a pretty penny for it.
And you know what?
Worth it.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. So, but yeah, I have $6,000 for, that's the next thing on my car, which is regearing it and putting in a different locking transmission or e-locker on the back, not transmission, locking rear end, and then 35-inch wheels and tires. So that's going to be
I saw where you cut out the front portion of the body work.
Yeah. So I need it. Basically, I'm 6, 7, 8, about 9 to 9,500 away from being done with what I've always wanted to do to it.
And hitting $100,000 put in your car.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have to actually go to AAA and change the coverage on the car because right now it's only covered at like 60,000. So I have to go up and tell them like I need to cover my car for $90,000.
They may make you weigh that thing at
Yeah, do they do that?
with
still?
all your gear on it if you're insuring it for all that.
I don't know the
probably look
AAA
at
does,
it,
but
that's for
Geico,
sure.
I think it's Geico. You can go there and be like, they'll be like, your car's worth $40,000. And I'm like, nope, I think my car's worth $99,000. And they'll be like, okay, to cover your car for $99,000, it costs $5,000 a year. And they don't care how much, as long as you pay the bill, they'll cover you for whatever you want.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you can go there with like a classic car and be like, I think this car's worth $150,000 because it's a 55 Chevy Bel Air.
So in other words, they'll insure it for whatever you want as long
as you're willing to pay for it. Yeah. So
Well,
yeah. So Ashley's Jeep's getting there very slowly.
getting there.
Very
slowly.
slowly. She never listens to my advice on telling her what she should do and shouldn't do and when she should do it. But
Well, I want
She hasn't
very
brought it to the station
specific
in a while.
things.
no.
I have a very
because gas
specific.
is $7.
Right.
Yeah.
More than the federal minimum wage.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted a very specific way, so that's why it's taking some time. Because I'm a girl. I don't want it to look.
How long's it been
manly.
since you've been? How many years have I told you to put a tent inside or on top of it?
Well, I don't want.
She has one
I
now.
don't want.
Oh, did it
that.
finally get here?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, I have that now, but I don't want that.
you will once you use it.
No,
Telling you, there's nothing like not sleeping on the ground.
I don't mind sleeping on the ground. It's.
I never used to
comfortable.
either. Till I
Till you got
never had to anymore.
Till you got your mansion up there.
Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest $5,000 I ever spent.
I just can't fathom spending that on a fucking tent.
You don't have to. You can buy a cheaper one. You can get it for cheap as like $800.
Mm,
anyways,
maybe
we
one
went
day.
way off
Way
course.
off topic.
Yeah.
That was her de-stress
So,
though. Off-road, camping.
So,
That's true.
So anyways,
Getting away. That makes sense. I get that.
yeah, I need to go again. So anyways, thank you ladies for being here on this episode. We're going to record another episode with you guys for the pink patch stuff because we went way over time here just rambling on about stupidity because that's what we do best. So thank you so much for being here. I just want to shout out one more time. Hang on, Jason has something to say. Go ahead. No? Oh, you just came up to the mic like you were going to do something and decided not to?
Thank you for
It
being
was-
here once you got done.
I just want to thank CrossFit 310 for letting us use their gym here. And I'm going to shamelessly plug Ashley's Hat Company one more time. It's what's it called again?
AR Hatco.
And we can find it where?
Instagram.
What's your handle?
AR Hatco.
That was
Would have
really,
never thought.
Very
would have
easy.
never thought, you know?
She also has an Etsy.
AR_Hatco.
Okay.
You can find me on Etsy and TikTok.
Oh, God.
Because I'm
she's a
She
TikTok.
does.
I can
have,
find her at work.
She
Yeah.
does have a dancing video on there. You should totally
Oh
watch
yeah,
it.
I'm dancing.
Are you twerking?
Not that kind
I
of dancing.
Tried,
Oh, That bad?
attempted.
It's pretty bad.
I love to dance, but I'm not good at it.
Well, you are white, so.
The
And they are
grocery
going to
store
come
always
back
has the
because we
best
are going to
dance
get our
music.
singing sample.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are looking forward to a singing
That's a
sample.
big
So,
negative.
yeah.
Sir.
So, thank you again, guys, for being here. And
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.